Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica. You won't know this at home, but this is take 2 of the intro.
The last one was a little bit of a clusterfuck. All right,
Subtracting 3 from 11 turned out to be very tricky.
When you didn't add in, like, I had a number missing. That's why. Okay, anyhow. This is our 1 minute book recs. This is where we go over all the books that we read in the past week with 1 minute synopsises. So last week we've been talking over the last couple of weeks actually, because these videos we recorded all in one day, but then they were spaced out, about our 26 book giveaway of 2026. And we do have some fun information for you guys. The first book that we are going to be giving away is a copy of BJ Alpha's newest re-release, which is Azrael, and that will be out on January 20th. There will be more information in our 1 minute book recs on the 19th for this giveaway and how you can enter to win it. But we are going to be giving away a copy of that to one lucky subscriber. So check back on the 19th for more information for that. Did I cover it all? We good there?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So that
All
giveaway
right.
will start on the 19th. All the deets will be in the 1 minute book recs. And the first step is making sure you've subscribed.
So true. See, she's on this. This is her area. All right. Well, let's talk about the books that we read this past week. How was your reading week? You went back to school, you went back to work.
I did.
Yeah.
I read 7 books, which I was actually surprised I got to 7, but this they most have been from like last weekend because I've been reading a 7,000 page book and it's taking a really long time to get through it.
It's not 7,000 pages. It's like 1,000 pages. Wait, have you started the really boring books for work that you have to read yet?
Yeah. Well, it's not boring. I'm reading that.
Oh, I mean, like, but it's not a romance. Let's put it that way.
No, it's the science of reading. It's actually, I really am enjoying it.
Ooh, maybe you'll get some really good insight into that for us and be able to tell us all the really fun things about reading, like the benefits. Okay, and so then for my week, I read 11. I'm going to talk about 8. Technically 7.5, but 8. They had a couple rereads in there, and I thought about not talking about the couple of rereads that I did. I mean, there's 3 that I'm not talking about totally, but I talked about I was debating whether or not to talk about a couple of rereads, and then I realized we have a lot of new people on our channel, and they might not have heard of these books before, even though I've talked about them in the past, so I will talk about them.
You do, boo.
Thanks, babes. Thanks. All right. Well, I guess this means that I'm starting this week. Yes. So, do you have the timer ready? Are you ready?
I've already pushed it. You're wasting your time.
Ah, crapo Friday. Okay.
I'm kidding.
Okay. So the first book I have was a reread. I am rereading this for reasons. And I saw it's a trilogy. I do need, thanks, Mandy. I do need to reread the last 2. The second, it's trilogy, so the other 2 books of the series. But first, when we were driving to Seattle, I picked this up and listened to it. So this is The Maiden by Celia Aaron. If you watched our favorite books of all time, you'll know that this is on the list, and I talk about it briefly. But this is about Delilah. She is not invading, that's not the word. She's joining this cult to try to find out what happened to her sister. Her sister has died. I think she was the older sister, has died a couple of years prior after joining this cult. And so she joins this cult and becomes what they call a maiden. And a maiden is like, they take these 12 women who are pure. They've never had sex, so they, pure. And they, do all sorts of weird things to them eventually we find out that it's so that she can be married off to some big senator or whatever, or someone in that like that, so that they can use her to get information, right? The prophet is not a good guy. In the meantime, she is handed over to the prophet's son, who is like her guardian, and he's allowed to do everything except for break her hymen, which, whatever. That sucks for her. Anyhow, these books just keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time, because she doesn't believe the crap that they're spewing at her, and she's trying to figure out what happened to her sister. Also, there's all these things that are happening in the cult that are just like just crazy. I'm doing a really bad job of explaining it, even though I just did a reread of it, but love these books. On the edge of your seat the whole time. Okay. What is your first book?
My first book is called Assumption of Poison by
Oh,
Jennifer Ashley.
okay.
So this is a novella. It's point 0.5 and the Below Stairs mystery. These are historical romances, and that's one of my goals this year is to read more historical romances. I really enjoy them. I just don't seem to stumble upon them very often. So I started this one. It takes place in London in 1880, and it's about Kat. Kat is a cook, like a chef, for Aristocats, and she's highly sought after until her employer dies and she is accused of poisoning him. Well, we have Daniel. He's this mysterious guy. We don't find out too much about him in this book, but he's extremely helpful and kind of seems to be in the right place at the right time and helps solve the mystery of who actually poisoned the employer in a roundabout way. And so this is setting up their story, which is going to be the first book in the Below Stairs Mysteries. So this is like the novella, so prequel, if you will, I guess is what I should have called it. So I am looking forward to starting that series. I pre-ordered the book from the author. She is going to be at Wild and Windy Phoenix, so I probably won't actually read the series until I get the book, which is in mid-February.
Mid-February.
But I'm really looking forward to the series.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well.
Oh, I rated it 4 stars.
Oh, I missed that part. Okay, cool.
I didn't tell you that you
Yeah.
didn't miss anything. I didn't tell you, so I had to jump
Thank
in
goodness.
there.
Okay.
Get it in there.
You got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Mila Finelli has a new Mafia series out. I think she's got like 2 or 3 books in the series now, and I was really excited about that because I do love her original series that kind of put her name out there for everybody. And so I picked up the first book for that series, and that is Empire of Temptation. This is book number 1 in her New York State Mafia series. This one is about Valentina and Luca. So Luca is from Italy. He's a part of the mafia over there. He's got a cousin who's been thrown into prison by a rival family, and the way he's gonna save his family and keep everybody safe is by finding this guy who is in New York who the mafia is looking for. That happens to be Valentina's estranged father. She's only met him a few times. Like they just have no relationship at all. But the mafia finds out, Luca finds out that Valentina is here in New York. She's running the family's Italian restaurant business. And so he goes to New York to kidnap her and bring her back to Italy. Instead of doing that, he decides that he's going to stick around. And when all of her staff quit and her chef is horrible, he hires her a chef, he hires her staff, he helps bring her business back to life. There's a big age gap. He's got teenage boys like 16 and 18, and she's in her 20s, and obviously that makes him older. He hides his identity from her the whole time. I gave it 3.5 stars. I love, I mean, like I enjoyed it. I was just bored in a lot of places. And a lot of it is that whole restaurant thing. You know me. I want him to kidnap her and take her at the beginning of the book and keep her against her will. Not, gift her a chef because she doesn't know how to cook and she's running the family business. Not gift her a new sign for the door. Like I want him to be this cruel, cold-hearted guy, and that's not necessarily what I got. I will continue on. I've liked everything else I read by him. And it's not that I didn't like it. For somebody else, it was just the tropes in it. This one wasn't my cup of tea. So it was enjoyable in parts. I will read the next one because I do like Mila. Oh, I don't know, within the next few weeks.
Really?
Maybe. I hope, yeah. I like Mila Finelli's stuff. I call her Mila like I know her. I don't know her.
I'm going to write this down because I don't feel like you'll do it.
I already actually have it on my Kindle, so we'll see. Along with 1,000 other books. Okay.
I know. Like when you say you're going to read something, that usually means you're not going to.
So I should stop saying that. I do have a little bit of downtime coming up next month. When I get my implant from the dentist and all this other stuff where I'll be down for a few days, but
you'll still have to work.
Don't remind me.
Sorry.
Just from home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But there's a couple flights.
So a few flights involved. There's a retreat involved. There's a couple events involved. The next 2 months are going to be busy.
I meant like on the flight you could read.
Yeah. Reading on flights has been a little more difficult for me lately because typically I'm just so tired and I get on the plane and I can't sleep on planes. But I get on a plane and I'm like,
next to you is like, blah, blah, blah.
trying to put her on the across from me in the aisle and she don't like that either. So then she goes,
Is that what you suggested that?
No, suggested it so I could get him to go pee. But I kind of like having you right next to me, either here or here, because I feel bad with my big linebacker shoulders and strangers right next to me. You can handle it. And you've gotten so tiny recently, it just means there's more room for my linebacker shoulders. So, it's great. And so these shoulders are never going to go away. If I was a stick figure, I'd have giant linebacker shoulders. And it's what it is. That's why my plastic surgeon told me I had a very manly shaped body. It's like, you have the rib cage of a man. Thanks.
That's why we called you linebacker Jessica in high school.
So didn't. Okay.
Well, not to your face.
Such a bitch. Oh, okay.
I'm joking.
Yeah, she's totally joking. What is your next book?
Okay. Book number 2 for me is one that we have talked a lot about on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
But I read it at the very beginning of this week.
Okay.
So that's why it's just now popping up.
Okay.
That is The Way Back to Us by Samantha Christie. You've probably already heard us talk about this, but you're going to hear it about it again. So this is about Ava and Trevor. Trevor is in the military. They were high school sweethearts. They've gotten married. He's been in the military, became a medic, a doctor in the military. He is almost out. Like, he is just a few weeks away when there is a situation overseas and he ends up losing his memory. There's confusion on what's going on because of some things that happened. And so Ava's actually told that he is dead and she is devastated. Like, he's the love of her life. She also is pregnant, and you learn more about how all that came together because he's been gone for a while. In the story, I don't want to give stuff away. I don't remember how much you said about this or not. So then about 2 weeks after they're told that he was killed, she's then told, oops, that isn't actually true. My timer went off. He is still alive, but he has amnesia and doesn't remember anything. So he comes home and they have to try and figure everything out.
Okay. Sorry, I was getting hot in my sweatshirt.
And so I would almost call this kind of marriage in crisis as well, because there's just so much going on here with him not remembering anything. And he's her entire life and he remembers nothing.
Literally nothing.
So I rated it 5 stars.
It was great.
I'm sure it will be a top read this month.
Okay. All right.
I don't know where my bookmark is.
Mandy read one of my top reads, and I've read one of her top reads now from last year. So I read Against All Odds by Corinne Michaels. I listened to it. So when I picked up this book, I remembered why I loved Corinne Michaels so much. It's been a while since I've read her, and I just love her writing. So this is about Violet and Everett. Mandy got me with this one because it is like a not his baby trope situation, which always gets me. But this is about Violet, who is in a relationship with she's married, and her husband is like some actor in Hollywood. They met when they were in college before he'd ever made a name for himself. But at the beginning of this book, she finds out that he is cheating on her with his co-star. And this is after they get home from a vacation where, he was a little distant and she was already thinking some things were up. So once her marriage falls apart, she moves back to the little hometown that she grew up in. And that is where she runs into Everett. And Everett she's the one that got away, basically. She and him were together when they were young, and then she left town to go to college, and things just kind of fell apart. He's never gotten over her. Like, he's never dated. Like, she has been it for him. And so now that she's back, they start to kind of skirt around each other, and then they start to have a little bit of a relationship of convenience kind of a thing, but it's not very convenient. He's dealing with some things of his own. And then all of a sudden she ends up pregnant. And it's not his baby. And then things kind of go from there. I really liked it. I gave it 4.5 stars. It just reminded me how much I loved Corinne Michaels. Like, I love Corinne. And it might have been rated higher had I started, because this is the third book in our Ember Fall series. Had I read 1 and 2, it might have been a little bit higher because I would have felt a little more connected to some of the other characters in the series. So I would suggest starting at the beginning, because you're probably going to love it even more. But I just love Corinne, and I love this trope. So
the whole series is really good.
Yes. The audios are all great too. I listened to this one. It's one that you just didn't want to stop. I just wanted to keep going. So it was great. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. What's your next book?
All right. My next book is one. This is an author who's going to be at Wild and Windy Phoenix. So I wanted to read a book by her again, or read a book by her. And then I read it and realized I've read her before.
Okay.
So this is The Stranger in Seat 8B by Nikki Castle. And it's a novella. There's 2. So this is the first one in their story. So they meet on a flight. Annie is a workaholic. And so she does not want to do the customary 5-minute talk to her seatmate. And she just wants to work. And so she's trying to put her headphones on and like really shut him down. Damien has this theory that you shouldn't work on flights because it's the only time like that you're kind of unreachable from all of the people that could be demanding your time, and you can just relax on the flight. And he really wants to chat up the good looking woman next to him. And that's pretty much what the entire book was about. I just didn't connect to either of the characters. I was kind of bored. I rated it 3 stars. The writing's not bad. I just wasn't that interested in the characters. I'm not going to continue on. And then I realized that after I put this and put it into Goodreads that I've read Nikki Castle before, and it was also a 3-star read. So I'm thinking, like, it might just be her writing just doesn't hook me as much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I was looking through Audible, and I realized that there was a Kylie Scott book that was vampires that I hadn't read yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've read a few. Like, I've read several of her books, and so I was like, you know what? Let's give this a try. So this is one of her older books. But this is Because the Night by Kylie Scott, and it starts out with our heroine Sky. She works for this company in Hollywood. They manage this big mansion in Hollywood Hills that is abandoned. It's been abandoned for 100 years or so. And she's told by her boss that she needs to go check it out, check the security, make sure everything is okay. Like, every once in a while they do a walkthrough of the house to make sure that everything's all right, that, mold isn't growing or mold shouldn't be growing and all that stuff. And so she's told at the very end of her day that she needs to go check out this house. So she goes, she checks some things out, and then she decides that she's going to go into the basement and check the basement out. Well, when she goes down there, she accidentally wakes up 100 years, a vampire that's been sleeping for 100 years. He's way older than that. And he drains her of her blood and makes her into a vampire without her consent. Can you believe that? Stinking vampires. So that is Lucas. Now, he has been asleep for a good 100 years, or close to it at this point. And now she's awoken the vampire. She's a vampire. She's going to have to give up everything, right? No more seeing her family, none of that stuff. She's got to learn how to be a vampire while acclimating the old vampire to our modern world. I gave it 4 stars. You have to go into it knowing that it's a little fast paced. The ending is really, really fast. I thought it wrapped up way too fast. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Would I have liked it to be fleshed out a little bit more? Of course. But while I was cooking dinner for the family, it was a great listen. So, you just got to take it for what it is. I didn't get bored, so that's plus. I just, wish there was more.
Yeah.
She really accepted becoming a vampire way too easily. I had been a little bit of a mess.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. So.
Well, guess what?
What?
Remember how we did that series We Need to Finish video?
Yes.
I finished a series.
Good job. What did you read?
Guess which series? No, I'm kidding. I finished the series Queens and Monsters by J.T. Geisinger. So
Okay.
I did the last book in that, which was Brutal Vows.
Okay.
And this is Spider's story. So it was pretty easy to want to continue on because we see Spider in the previous book. And we definitely want to see him get his happily ever after, right? So in this, we have Raina. Raina basically feels like she's kind of running the whole Italian mafia side here a little bit. Her brother's kind of, I would just call him an idiot. Um, she's kind of in charge, but she's also known as the Black Widow. And she's not afraid to go toe to toe with these guys. And so her brother has decided to arrange marriage or sell off his own daughter, which is her niece. And she really feels for her niece and doesn't, and her niece has been secretly or not so secretly involved with someone she's not supposed to be with. And she ends up not being suitable for marriage. And Raina then steps in to marry Spider on behalf of her niece so her niece can get out of the country, basically. And Spider is not too disappointed that it's no Raina, and they kind of go toe to toe with each other on some issues. There's some great banter in here. There's some great spice. There's a lot of the praise kink. Kind of goes both ways in this one. And we see, the Irish mafia and the Italian mafia. So I loved it. I rated it 5 stars.
Awesome. I did like that one too. I liked all of them.
Yeah, they were all good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, now we're going to talk about my reread that I did. I had 2 of them that we're going to talk about. I can tell Mandy is chomping at the bit for these. So these are one of my favorite MC romances. I do love I love them. They're great. The first one is Razor's Ride by Jamie Bagley. Mandy just doesn't like the fact that there is some kinky stuff in this book. Anyhow,
kinky stuff is an understatement.
Look, they're an MC that knows what they want. It's all it is. You get the same stuff in other MCs. It's just not as blatantly obvious. So anyhow, this is Razor's Ride by Jamie Bagley. It's the first book in her, why do I space every time on the name of this? Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the first book in the series. This is about Razor and Beth. Beth is the pastor's daughter in this little tiny town in Tennessee, and these motorcycle clubs, last riders, that's what they call themselves, have come to town. Beth's parents have died. Her father wasn't the greatest. Like, he was a Baptist minister that was not a very great guy to her, maybe to the rest of the town, but it was all hellfire and brimstone. So she grew up like not going to school dances and just not having that normal experience that the rest of us do. And so she has a few run-ins with Razor. She can tell that they do like to have sex because women are hanging on them quite often. And she ends up going out a few times with him. He's intrigued by her. There's a mystery that they're trying to solve. He also breaks her damn heart a couple of different times because the motorcycle club has their club girls at the club, and the way they make it into the club is by sleeping with 6 of the founding members. So there is open sex happening quite often in this series. You laugh about it, but I guarantee you have read worse. Guarantee. I love it. There is plot. There is a big plot in these books. It just happens that there's those things going on. Love it. I don't know why it's funny. You can't help it. I do love them. And Jamie was going to be in the event, but I think she canceled, didn't she?
Would you say that you feel like you connect to the characters?
No. Not one bit. I do get Beth, though. I do get Beth.
Does it remind you of your days working at the cannery?
We didn't have MC members working at the cannery. Trust me, they weren't that hot. No. Should get wild up in there, though.
I know.
So what happens when you throw a bunch of college kids together without adult chaperones all summer long?
Well, if you're in college, you are the adults.
I know, we're supposed to be, but good Lord.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
What's your
my
next
next book is a thriller. I was really excited for it, and then I was really disappointed. Let me tell
Okay.
you all about it.
Okay, tell us all about it.
Okay, that's The Inmate by Frida McFadden. And it's probably my fault. I was disappointed. I don't know. Anyway, so we have Brooke. When Brooke is in high school, her boyfriend tries to um kill her, strangle her, but she never actually sees him. It's from behind. And there's some other murders that take place, and her testimony ends up putting him away in prison for life. And so he's been in prison for about 10 years. And right after, when all this goes down, she finds out that she's pregnant. She has kept the baby, who's now like 10, a secret. And she's moved back to her hometown to try and make a better life for her and her son, since her parents died and she inherited the house. So she moves back, and she runs into Tim, her best friend, like childhood best friend, and he was there during all of this stuff going down as well. And so it just kind of goes from there. I don't want to give anything away. I'll just say that when we got to the end and like everything is coming out, I just felt like some stuff was, I get that when you're writing like a thriller, mystery, murder mystery, that maybe not everything is going to make 100% like be like, oh, because you want it to be like exciting and all of that. But I just kind of, I felt like the ending was lackluster. Like it
Okay.
didn't leave me going like,
Yeah.
I wanted more from the ending. The writing is good. And I didn't, when I got this book at the Port Angeles bookstore, I made the comment about like, I think she might be well known. Yeah, I didn't realize she was the author of The Housemaid, and like
Oh
that's in
yeah.
the theaters right now. And like saying
Yeah.
she might be well known was like probably the biggest understatement ever
Yeah.
about an author. She's very, very well known. Uh yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
like endings like that we saw in like Vi Keelan's The Unraveling or Serena Bowen's Mysteries. Like I like those kinds of endings. I could do a whole video on my issues with this book. I rated it 3 stars. Like I was entertained through a good chunk of
but
it.
I think this is where, and I have a book like this that we're going to talk about here in just a little while, where people are like, oh, it was my favorite book of the year. Well, I think they don't, we read a lot. We read a lot. And so our expectations out of a book, I think, are higher than the average person or someone who reads 2 or 3 books out of the year. So something that can be their favorite might not be ours, because we read and consume so many books that what we're looking for is more. Does that make sense?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It
Okay.
takes more to wow us.
It takes more to wow us. Yeah, exactly.
Are
Exactly.
you
Because we're just
suggesting Nicholas Sparks may not do it for me anymore like he used to when I would occasionally read when I had little kids?
Nicholas Sparks would not do it for me. I can guarantee that. So, no shade to Nick there, but no, ain't gonna
I
fly.
used to really enjoy his books back in the day
Yeah. Well,
when I
my
would
thing
read a
is when
couple
they
books
say
a
that
year,
they're,
if that.
when they say that they're romance, but yet you don't always get a happily ever after in them, that's what drives me nuts.
Mm.
So, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. Well, let's talk about my next one, which again was a reread, because now Audible has this thing that if you're like listening in your car and you're on audio, it'll automatically just play the next book. If you own the next book in the series, it'll just automatically play. And that is what happened. And once it started playing the next book in the series without me saying yes or no, I was in it to win it. And now we changed our car insurance, where now we have the little thing that monitors us, and I can't like even touch my phone. I have to use Siri for everything, which is fine. Normally I have one of the kids in the car like pull up a book, or I'll pull over, I'll do whatever, right? But I don't want it to say that I was using my phone in the car, even if I pulled over to the side of the road. So I just let it keep on playing.
So we had switched our car insurance because once you add a teenage boy to it, you really have to shop around because
Yep.
the the prices vary like by hundreds of dollars a month. It was
Yep.
wild.
Yep.
But we had a car insurance where we had that, and anytime my phone was going, it would show that I was on it, like
Mm.
stopping or starting my audiobook and stuff. And I actually called and I was like, hey, this is looking like I'm constantly on my phone the entire time I'm driving. I'm listening to an audiobook. And the lady, um, the receptionist was like, oh yeah, I have the same problem. She's like, I only listen to audiobooks in the car. And she's like, it does that. And she's like, you can go in and manually change it though. And so I'm like, but every freaking time I drive, I have to go in and
Mhm.
manually change this. And
Yeah.
at the time, my husband worked for a company where he drove all day long to customers' houses. And so I was like, well, can we just like, is there a way for him to report that he's like, it's his work day? No, he was going to have to do that too. And I'm like, this is going to take like a half an hour to an hour out of his day to every single time he gets in to drive to the next person's house to have to do that. And I got frustrated with it. And I'm like, we're just done with this because this is
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. Mine right now it's not recording it as I was like as long as I start it before I leave the driveway, it's fine. But if I am like in the Starbucks drive-through parked, but my car is still running and my phone is still saying that it is connected, it will ding it if I like pull up something different when I'm parked. And so then I have to go in and say I wasn't driving. But typically, if it's just going, then I'm fine. It's anytime anything's messed with. I can also say that a passenger was using my phone in the car.
Yeah, but see,
But
that's what bugged me though. Like every time I get in the car and use my audiobook, I have to go in and
yeah.
mark it. I'm like, this is
But
dumb.
when I have a teenage son, and at first they wanted to charge us almost $800 for car insurance, and I had to shop around to get that number,
Yeah.
way, way, way lower, then I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep that car insurance. So,
Oh no,
good
we
lord,
shopped around a lot too.
yeah, yeah, it's ridiculous because he's not even a teenager anymore. He's 20, and it's still they wanted to charge us about $800. So
Yeah, it is wild.
nuts, nuts, nuts. Okay, let's talk about my next book. So I continued
Please.
on with the Last Rider series, and I read. How far did you get in the Last Rider series? Only like 3 or 4 books in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
So
at what's his name?
are you at Shade?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So
The
I
guy who
read.
has 2 books.
There's one, and then there's one like 2 or 3 books later.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
Shane?
Shade.
Yeah. Shade. Sorry,
Yeah,
Shade.
like yours
Yeah, I'm
last week.
somewhere
Yeah.
right in there.
Yeah. Did you get Winter's second book? Viper and Winter have a second book too. That's a smaller one.
Okay,
Probably
I
not.
didn't
Okay.
realize that I was on a game show for quizzes right now.
You quiz me all the time. Paybacks. Okay, I read Viper's Run, which is book number 2. Mandy has read this one. Not too many more after that, but I read this one. Okay, so this is Winter and Viper's story. So Winter is the principal at the high school, and she has been dating this Loker James off and on for like 3 years. They've not had sex or anything, but they have been dating. She feels like she's tall and too thin and awkward, and he's paid her attention, but they've never gone very far. Well, come to find out at the beginning of this book, kind of towards the end of the last and beginning of this one, Loker James is the given name of Viper, who is the president of the MC, and they've been keeping it quiet because they are trying to figure out who murdered his brother. And so she realizes that the guy that she's been dating is this president of this MC. He's been sleeping with other women. He's
What?
been, I know, shocker. He's been leading this other life. Now, he's not sleeping with her, and their relationship was very casual, but she was in it to win it. And he is like, that's not necessarily what's going on here. He was kind of using her for something. She gets very upset. They break up. And then a situation happens where she is attacked outside the high school. She is now in a wheelchair. She's having to go through recovery. She can't walk. And instead of just letting her heal on her own, he does the thing that I love the most. He takes her. He takes her from the hospital when they're releasing her and forces her to stay at his house that he has like gotten ready for her with all the amenities that she's going to need while she is recovering, because it's to protect her. And he also might realize that he does have feelings for her, and he was a bit of a douche canoe. A lot of a douche canoe. So I love these. I do. The third book, Knox's book, is not really my favorite. I normally skip it, but I know for somebody it's their favorite. The third book is she's
It's
a
not
lawyer.
mine.
I know. No, I mean, I'm sure somebody's out there. It's just not my favorite because of the tropes. Okay. I don't like the whole lawyer getting him out of jail thing. So, okay. Next.
Okay, next. I had a really good listen, which just snapped me out of the funk from after reading The Inmate.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
What?
What was it? I'm curious.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you.
Please do.
Okay, so I read The Exception, or I listened to it, by Vi Keeland. So this comes out today, the day this video drops. And it is narrated by Sebastian York and Andy Arndt, who are just a favorite power narration duo. And so we have Sutton and Jagger. They meet on this app that is for like people looking for a certain type of hookup. And when Sutton and Jagger are talking, they realize like this was not what Sutton thought she was signing up for. And so, you know, it's like, oh, haha, you know, type thing. And they part ways very like friendly, nothing like nobody's mad or anything like that. And then she has just moved back to New York, and she's got this new job where her stepdad works, and the boss turns out to be Jagger. And so we have the two of them now working together, and each character, Jagger and Sutton both, have a lot of trauma and things in their past that are keeping them a little closed off maybe. And so both of them are kind of looking for a no strings attached type situation. So they end up hooking up under that, and then they start spending a lot of time together. Feelings develop, but because neither one of them have really dealt with like some of the past trauma, that's going to kind of rear its head. And I just really, really enjoyed it. And this does have some like Toucher and Die type vibes, but like billionaire workplace romance, not quite the dark romance. I mean, it's got some dark elements, but it's not dark, you know what I mean? I loved it. I rated it 5 stars. The audiobook was fantastic. I really enjoy Vi Keeland.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I belong. You're so welcome. I belong to a group on Facebook that is like this betrayal, cheating book group, and 9 times out of 10, what they're talking about is a Wattpad story that doesn't add up, because they threw out this Wattpad story that I was like, oh, that sounds really good. And I actually downloaded the app yet again. Like I keep downloading it and then I read a chapter or two and I'm like, what the hell are these people talking about? And then I delete it and then I get mad that I even wasted my time. So I did that this week. I spent like 5 chapters in this book that I wasted my time on. It was horrible. And we're not even going to talk about it. I didn't even count it. I was like, this is just horrible. But then the next day, it popped up in my feed again, and they were talking about books written by S.T. Morse, and they were talking about one that is just horrible. The way he treated her was horrible, and I was like, "Oh, do tell," because these are real books. Like these are real books. And then in the same feed, a bunch of them were saying, because they hated it. I'm like, I might love it. Then in the next book, like in the thread, they were talking about how several of them had said that her book Frayed Images was their favorite book or favorite read of 2025. And I was like, well, let me try this out first. So that is what I did. So let's talk about this. So this is a marriage in trouble, cheating situation. So this is about Frankie and Drew. Now, they've been married for, I think, like 5 years or so. They've been married for a while. The book starts out, they're at the company Christmas party, his company Christmas party. She's a freelance photographer. And so, she works from home. But they're at the company Christmas party. He has this girl from work who is a huge flirt, who is literally like hanging on his every word, hanging on his arm, doing overly flirtatious things. And that has Frankie going, what the hell? Like, is something happening between my husband and this woman? And then we see that Drew is going out a lot at work, like after work with the guys from work. And this girl, Carly, is there all the time. She's always in these situations. And it has Frankie really questioning whether he is being faithful to her. She wants children. They've always talked about having kids. And all of a sudden, he shuts that down when she brings it up now. She tries to get them to go to therapy. It ends up blowing up in their face. And then he asks for a separation. He admits to her that he He says he's not having an affair. He learns eventually that it is. Nothing sexual has happened between him and her, but it's an emotional affair. So just if affairs are a situation, it's an emotional affair. And then they take this time apart, something major happens, and then he has to really grovel to get them back. Or get them back together. So I gave it a 4. I really enjoyed the book. It's not going to be a favorite of the year. I kind of wish, I felt like it was a little fast paced because they're separated for almost 2 years before they really and you see them here and there, but I want more of I wanted to see more of them trying to work things out. But I did enjoy it. I do think it was a great listen. So have at it. Go read it. Listen to it. It was great. It just the angst didn't quite angst because he really didn't actually cheat on her. It was more emotional cheating, which still sucks. It's cheating. But, it's easier to kind of come back from, I think, for him. So. Okay.
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 My last book.
Mm-hmm.
Can I call that this is probably going to end up on my top 26 of 26?
Sure, because I'm going to say that about my next book.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see if it happens.
We'll see.
Okay. That is On Borrowed Time by Harlow James. So I'm going to say this is my favorite Harlow James book. I really enjoy Harlow James, but I believe this is my favorite one of hers. And I've read quite a few of her books. So in this we have, I did get the ALC for this. This comes out on January 16th and it has duet narration, which is phenomenal, by Connor Krauss and Vanessa Edwin. And they both do such a great job with this. So we have Elodie, who ends up in Blossom Peak because her career has not quite worked out how she wants it to. And so she is there trying to just regroup and figure out what the heck her next step is because she doesn't want to go home and admit that it has not worked out. So she is interviewing for a job, and Henley is who's doing the interviews, and he literally just had a 3-month-old baby dropped on him. And the mom took off, wants nothing to do with it, the baby or anything. She's off, and so she's like, this is your daughter. Good day. And he grew up in foster care. And so he refuses to let his daughter, he's like, he never wanted a family, never wanted kids, any of that, but he's not going to let his daughter go through what he did. And so he's trying to figure it out. And he knows nothing about kids, nothing. And his friend group has limited experience as well. And so he's just kind of muddling his way through this and is desperate for help. So Elodie ends up being his live-in nanny, and the two of them are going to fall for each other. But Henley struggles with working out how he feels about things because of how he grew up. He's very closed off, did not want a family, does not want connections, doesn't tell anyone the L word, and just has really struggled with that. And so it's made him a little grumpy. And we just really see such phenomenal character growth. His character arc is just amazing in this story. I loved it so much. I can't talk about how much I just love this book. 5 stars, obviously. I really think this will be on my top 26 of 26.
Okay. Well, for my next book, I'm not going to switch over. We're just going to stay on here. There's not much that I can say. I beta read BJ Alpha's new MC romance because she had some questions. She wanted to make sure the flow was going to be okay. She just wanted to run it by somebody and get opinions. So that is what I did. I've taken my time. She actually had it split into 2 books, and I'm not sure. I'm assuming she's going to all mesh it together as one, but right now it was split into 2 books. So that is Killa. And Becky did say that I could tell you guys that I had read it. Now there is an NDA in effect, so I can't really tell you much, but I can tell you that it is MC. It has some of my favorite tropes in it. It is going to be amazing. I expect it to come out within the next few months or so. It still has to go to the editor and stuff. I know that on Goodreads she has it listed as in the fall, but I think we're supposed to get it before then. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think we're supposed to get it before then. But oh my God, it's so good. It's hate to love. And she sets up 2 books at the end, the next 2 books, and I'm dying for them. I messaged her this morning and I was like, yeah, so tell me you're done with those already, because I think I need them right now. But it is dark and gritty, and it is a gritty MC, and I love it. Love it. But it has the typical BJ feel to it as well, with her Crazy Heroes. So I'm giving it 5 stars. I'm going to say it's probably going to be on my top reads of the year. Just the experience obviously adds to that. But getting to throw out some input and ideas was amazing. And you guys are going to love it. So yeah. We'll let you know more when I know when it's coming.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's it.
Okay.
Wrap her up.
All right. Well, if you've
Okay.
not hit that subscribe button, we would love for you to do that. And don't forget to check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And a lot of time Wednesdays, and like I've been saying in our videos lately, our Wednesdays are packed for January and February. So make sure you check back on those days.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.